Welcome back to Round of the Bases Extra Innings. Joel Goldberg continuing the visit with Toussaint Bailey. If you have not listened to the audio version of this podcast yet, hope you'll check it out. Really great insight on making impact and listening. And just go back and check that out wherever you get your podcast. But I'm happy right now to continue the discussion with Toussaint Bailey. First question as we round the bases. Sometimes these are a little bit more lighthearted. But I think I've heard a couple times maybe people with the name Toussaint. It makes me think of like in New Orleans or something like that. What's the background with the name? Because I think you got one of the cooler first names out there.
Oh, appreciate it. So Toussaint Louverture was liberated Haiti from the French and was the first president of independent Haiti. And I have all these false marks. My parents are from Louisiana, so I tell people that, and they go, "Oh, exactly. That's where you get the Creole name." I'm like, "Nah." And then I tell people about the origin of the name. They go, "Oh, you're Haitian." No, my parents just loved the history of the name Toussaint and this great figure. His actual first name was not Toussaint, but he was named that after he had liberated the Haitians from the French. Toussaint Louverture, like the opener, was what his last name became, or the breaker of chains.
That's amazing. Not everybody has that kind of story for their name. So,
no, it's such a big. Can you imagine being like a 5, 6, 7-year-old walking around with this big old name? So it took some getting used to.
that first day in class every day was probably a little bit of a challenge.
Oh yeah.
All right. Second question as we round the bases. You did say growing up in the audio podcast that you're hoping to be a big star in the NBA one day. One, are you still playing? And two, who are you watching? Who's your guy?
So absolutely still playing. I still mess around. So my jump shot has come in my old age. So I talked about the height in the audio podcast. Also, my jumper certainly wasn't up to NBA. I have a get paid jumper, as they say. My guy. My favorite player is probably Draymond Green, who is a polarizing player. I just think he is a basketball genius. And I'm here in the Bay Area, so I've had an opportunity to watch him. I've always been a Kobe guy growing up, and I'm obsessed. I have a Kobe picture somewhere in this office, and so I have that obsession. But right now, I love the cerebral game of Draymond Green.
You can't grow up in LA. I guess you could, but you can't grow up in LA and not be a Kobe fan. And then, of course, moving to Northern California, you got the Warriors right there. I mean, life's been pretty good for you. I grew up. We moved from Philadelphia to Chicago, so I had Dr. J, and Charles Barkley was right as I moved away, and then I go to Chicago right as Michael Jordan is right even before he's hitting his peak. The year we moved to Chicago, I think he was out for the year injured, and then everything takes off, and I'm there in and out of town coming back for the championships, and it was that was magical. So Draymond's a stud. He might piss some people off along the way, but he wins, and I think he'll probably be the next Charles Barkley on TNT.
I think so. I think so. Yeah, I never counted. So I'm basketball spoiled too. I've never counted, but I think I've been in cities or kind of metro areas with probably 9 basketball championships, or maybe more. Actually, more than that. Probably 15 to 14, because I was in LA for the Showtime Lakers, kind of the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, the second Kobe, and then 4 here in the Bay Area. Yeah. So I'm spoiled.
You got a ring for every finger if you were at least part of those teams. All right.
I like to think I had something to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, let's give credit where credit is due. Third question, I should say, as we round the bases. You talked in the audio version of the podcast about coming in, being vulnerable, and then starting these conversations with the Just Listen Project. For you, was there an aha moment? That moment where you said, well, you know what an aha moment is, but that moment that just caught you, changed you?
Yeah. So even before I did the Just Listen Project, I never posted anything on social media. Like prior to this time, I was, like I said, I was compartmentalized, and particularly on LinkedIn. And so I had posted for right after witnessing George Floyd being killed. I posted on social media this question about whether we as a country were better than this. It was a rhetorical question. And then I talked about the difficulty I would have going home to my kids and having a conversation when, I try to teach them about optimism and all these things. And there was something like 20,000 people who viewed that post on LinkedIn. And I had very kind of small network, and it had this ripple effect because people were just realizing not only in my office, people were feeling the same thing, but that broadly, there were all these people who were having the same question on their mind and feeling the same thing. Was, to me, not more than a nudge. It was an elbow in the direction of continuing to have this conversation, which frankly, I did not set out to be sort of a conduit for. And so that, I would say that was a big spark toward doing some more impactful stuff.
Yeah, and led to big things. All right, final question. The walk-off will make it simple yet maybe complicated. I already did a one-word check-in with you earlier. Let's go back to that again. I'm putting you on the spot. You didn't know I was going to ask you this. 2023, this is airing here in February, so we have most of the year left. And as you and I recorded, it's in January, still feeling new, still maybe writing 2022 by accident on the check or whatever it is. We're getting used to 23, number of Michael Jordan, by the way. That's my guy. What's a one word that you have in store for 2023?
Conviction. I just feel so much conviction that there are more of us than I realized before. More people who want goodness for the world and whatever that means for them. And more people who are willing to kind of engage and find fulfillment in serving others, helping others, move things forward. And so I just feel more conviction this year than I ever have that what we are doing and the kinds of things we are doing are going to be replicated by more people and engaged in by more people. And so I'm excited, but yeah, I have conviction.
There's always room for more to join in with that conviction, and hopefully that is the case. I love that. That has me excited. That has me inspired as well. And I'm always an optimist, even at times where it can be tough to be optimistic. That gives me a lot of hope to be able to hear that one word. It's a powerful one of conviction. Well, Toussaint, again, I can't thank you enough. Encourage everybody that if you've watched this and have not listened to the podcast, go check us out. And the website, again, if you want to learn more about Toussaint and his company, is upliftingcapital.com. Again, Toussaint, thanks so much for spending time.
Thanks for making the time.